What's good, internet? Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to achieve successful design projects using one of the design I received from a designer. I'm going to share what is working and what is not working in the design that I received, and I'm going to use this to teach you guys how to achieve successful design projects. I'm sure you're going to learn so much from this tutorial. So let's start. This project is a bit successful, and what I noticed that really made this successful is the color used in the project. You know, warm colors like this are beautiful, and I also like the background of the project. I like this pattern, background that this designer used here. It really made the project look sweet to the eye. All right, and I also like the way the designer played with the title. I like the proximity. All right, now the proximity on the date and time here is beautiful. All right, but that is not enough. All right, whenever we are asked to work in design projects, we should always learn to pay attention to the characters we're using in the project or the illustration we are using in the project. Mostly, this is what shaped the layout of our design. So the reason why I said that is because when it comes to working on projects where we have young people like this, all right, it's always best to do some drama to really make that pointing at the right viewers work in the project. Then the other thing I noticed that the designer did not really do well here is the paying attention to details. And I'm saying this here because of the way the designer played with the title. I know he or she is trying to achieve extrude effect here. All right. And that's why, you notice we have this extrude here. All right. But you did not remember to apply the extrude to this part of the title. And this affected the making the title balance. All right. And then the other thing I noticed that the designer did not do well here is the not really understanding how to use proximity. Proximity, which is the grouping of your elements. All right. So here, this side here is, is somehow confusing. So the proximity here is not really balanced. And then the other thing I notice in the project here is the use of element that is not really necessary, or should I say is not used the right way. All right. These elements here are not okay in the project. Whenever you are using other elements to spice your project, it's always best to repeat the element in order to make repetition work in your project. Repetition, which is also part of the principles of design. But when you are shy with the use of repetition, it's going to make the project look confusing, because by the time you use elements that you did not repeat in the project, it's going to make people's focus go to that element. And when people try to understand why the element is there and they found out that the element did not really give any meaning to them, they look at your project like it's not successful. And these are simple things that mostly affect our projects whenever we're working on design projects. All right. So I'm going to quickly recreate this. But before I recreate this, I want to specially thank the designer for sending the elements used to achieve this project. I'm talking of Big Wiz here. So I'm going to quickly recreate this using the elements sent to me from him. So I'll go to the exercise file now. So I'm going to drag the background image and drop like so. Let's just delete this. Delete all this for now. So I'm going to zoom out with Control Spacebar and drag, and I'm going to hit Control T. Make sure you're always on the right layer. So I'm going to hit Control T to activate the free transform, and I'm going to make this big like that. All right. Then we need to change the color of this because I'm still using the orange color from the original design. So I'm going to activate gradient map here, and I'm going to click right here to activate the gradient editor. Then I'll come here and double click, and I'm going to move this to let's use orange here, there. So I'll say okay, click right here and make a copy of this here, drag this down, move this here, click on the color editor or color picker, and I'm going to move this up a bit like that. All right, so move this down a bit, like that. So I'm going to select the OK button and hit the OK button. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create a solid layer. Hit the OK button, hide this. Then I'm going to double click on the layer and sample the color from here and hit the OK button and make this visible. Then I'm going to move this down a bit like that. Good. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create a new layer. I'll call this layer glow. So I'm creating the background that the designer made. So I'm going to sample this color from here and make this more yellow like. And I'm going to select the OK button. So I'm going to select the brush tool and I'm going to go to my brush settings here and select the soft round brush. And I'm going to turn this off. All right, I'm turning off my pen pressure there. Then, so I'm going to increase my brush size and I'm going to click once like that. And I'm going to activate the free transform. I'm going to hold on Alt and make this big. And this should come here. All right. So one of the reasons why I like where this is positioned is because whenever you create glow effect like this and you position it on any part of your frame, know that area where you position the glow is where you want to place the important information in the project. And that's what I'm about to do here now. So I'm going to move this down a bit like that. So I'm going to type the title. So I'll go to where I have it typed here. So I'll copy this. And I'll go to the title and paste. Right. Then I'll go to the property tab here and use compactor. So I don't know the name of the character that the designer used. So I'm using something closer to it here in my PC. Okay. So I'm going to make this curve and I'll activate free transform and make this bigger. So let's just zoom in a bit. Yeah. So I'll make a copy of this and this should be here and activate the free transform and make this smaller. So another thing that I noticed that the designer did not really do well is, you see, when you're creating your title, it's always best to make your title dynamic. All right. I noticed the designer did not, do that. So I'm going to change this to there. All right. And I'll move this here. Then I'll make a copy of this and position this here. Then I'll copy the next information and this should move here. So I'm going to make sure the three words are well aligned. I change the color of these two. So I'll change this to, so I'm still using the same concepts. I'm still using the same concept from the designer. So I'm going to draw a shape here and I'll change the color of this shape to black. All right. So I'll make a copy of this by hitting Ctrl J and I'll move this down, activate the free transform, move this down and push this out. Then um, I'm gonna create a point here. Click here. Now, when you're doing this, immediately you select the pen tool. Remember to change your shape option here to heart. Okay. Then I'll click here, click here, click here, 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 and close it. Then I'll change this to no stroke and change this to black. This should be behind this. So it's time for us to fine tune this. So I'm going to select the direct selection tool and I'm going to fine tune this. All right, so I'm going to put the title in a group. So I'm going to shift select the shape that I drew here and hold on shift and select the last layer there and hit Control G. Then I'm going to activate free transform and make this bigger. So I'm holding on Alt and this should move here. All right, so then let's put the next information. So I'm going to call this title. It's always best to name your layers. So I'm going to put this in a group also and call this BG as my background there. All right, then the next information or a shape. I'll draw a shape here. Okay, and I'm going to make this shape color yellow. Then I'll type the dates. I'll paste the date there. Hit the enter key. Make this center case. I'm going to take out the space like that. Then I'm going to move this here and still use the same character. So I'll use compactor. Right. So I'll use this compactor BT black. Activate the free transform and make this bigger. So I'll change the color of this to black. We need to take away the stroke from the shape. All right, then I'll make a copy of this and I'm going to change the color of the stroke to black and change the stroke here to 2 and activate the free transform and make this smaller like that. All right, then activate the free transform again on the dates and make this smaller. Then I'm going to add leading to add more space between the rows there. Then I'll make a copy of this. So hit Control, or let's just drag and drop on the new layer icon. And we're going to change this to white and use 2 as our width and change this to no color. All right, let's move everything out so we see what we're doing. So I'll move this out here and move this here. Good. Then we can make a copy of this. I still feel like leaving this close here because the proximity of the date and time to the title is going to make it, look more important make it look more important to the viewers. So I'm going to change this to the time. So I'm going to hit Control V there and change the color of this to white. We need to avoid repetition, so I'll take this out and no, excuse me, this should go up and this should come down. This should go in. Good. Then the stroke of our shape here is too small. All right, so we need to use something more wider. Let's make this, let's make it 9. Good. Then I'm gonna move this out and activate the frame transform and make this smaller like that. I think our stroke here needs to be out. Yes. Then for this here, we need to change the size. So we have this uniform, size there for the shape. So move this back here. Good. Then so for the stroke here, we're gonna make that 5, and this should be at the center. And gonna activate the frame transform and make this bigger. Then for this, gonna make sure the information here is well aligned. Then I'll put everything here again in a group. So I'm gonna call this D and T, which is date and time. So I'll activate the frame transform and make this smaller like that. I'll hit the enter key. So I'm going to add the pictures of our characters. So I'm going to drag the first image and drop here. All right. And I'm going to make this big. Then I'll add the next 2 images. So I'll right click because I can't place this lady's picture here. It's not going to help the project. So if I place the image here like this, all right. No, it's not going to help. So I need to make her back the character here. So I'll right click and say flip horizontal, and I'll make this a bit bigger, and this should come here. All right. I'll still make it bigger. Yeah. So this should come down a bit like that. Good. Then I'm going to drag and drop the next image. Okay. So I'm going to hit the enter key. Then I'll shift select the images and move this a bit to the side. I'm going to activate the frame transform and make everything a bit bigger, like that. And I'm going to paste that here. All right. We don't need all this emojis because I want to make the size of this information here smaller. All right. Using a bold character like this is not going to work. Why? Because it's going to make the project look too heavy, and it can affect the visibility of the information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a character that is not as bold as the character I use on the title, but share almost similar style with the title. So I'm going to use this character that I download from the internet. It's called Blender. Yeah, this is it here. So I'm going to use the medium style and change this to slash. Right. And I'm going to add space, slash again, space. So the reason why I always use slash is because this stroke here most time look like letter L. All right. So in order not to get my viewers confused, it's best to use something different from the letters that they are used to. So I'm going to activate the frame transform and make this smaller. And I'm going to add tracking to this. All right. So I'm making all this move because I really want my viewers to see the information that I have in the project. So I like the tape style, this tape design that the designer did. So I'm going to do the same move. All right. I'm going to make the same move here, and I'll change this to no color and make this black. Then this should be about this. And I'm gonna make the color of this white. All right. Then let's see. Yeah, this is making sense now. So for the tape, this out. more. And activate the fetch transform and make this a bit smaller. And I'm gonna hit Control G to put this in a group. And I'm gonna call this features. All right. Then I'm gonna make a copy of this and call this dates. Excuse me, it should be venue and social handle, like that. Good. Then I'm gonna move this down. Then I'll copy. I'm sure you are enjoying the tutorial now. Okay, so we get calls a lot from young folks who are looking forward to learn design but can't afford to pay for design school. And that is why we decided to start a foundation where we can be a blessing to these people. We need to get some gadgets in order to help us meet our goals where helping these people is concerned. And that's where we need people like you to support us with your funds. So if you have any amount you want to support us with, simply make use of the account details on the screen. No amount is too small, no amount is too big. Any amount that comes from you, we are going to so much appreciate it. All right, so let's continue the tutorial. All right, then I need to add the, okay, so let's change the color of our tape. So I'll come here and use the orange color. But for this particular orange color here, I'm going to change the value, all right, to something a bit brighter and hit the OK button. Then I'm going to change this to black. So I'm going to drag the Instagram. I'm going to hold on Alt and move this down. So then we need to change the color of the icons to really create contrast there and make that part of the project more interesting to the eye. So I'm going to right click on the layer and select blend option to activate my layer style here. Then I'll go on the color overlay and I'm going to select the color picker box there. And I'm going to pick the color from here and select the OK button and hit the OK button. Then I'll make this. So I'm going to duplicate the effect and apply it to the other icons. So I'll hold on Alt, drag and drop to duplicate the effect. And I'll make the same move again. Alt, hold down, drop like that and close like that. Good. Then we're going to make a copy of this again. This should be venue. I didn't spell this correctly. All right, so for this is going to be the tickets. All right, it's going to be the tickets. All right, then we are going to move this down. Okay, this will move a bit closer to this. Yeah, I like this. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this bigger. All right. Yeah, this should be bigger like that. Then let's make this dynamic. So for the feature, I'm going to activate free transform and rotate this. All right. Like that. For the venue and the social media, I'll make that also rotate that like that. And for the tickets, I'll rotate this. Yeah. So the other thing that I noticed that the designer did not really do well is the contrast parts where the characters are concerned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separation here in a dynamic way. All right. I'm going to create a separation between the characters and the background in a dynamic way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer and call this layer strokes. Okay. Then I'm going to select the brush tool and make this smaller. Then let's see. So I'll go to my brush settings here, select the hard brush, turn this off and turn on the pen pressure. So I'm using a graphics tablet here, guys. So if you don't have a graphics tablet, you may not be able to control the pen pressure of your brush. All right. So, but because I'm using a graphics tablet, that's the reason why I'm able to change. I'm able to control the pressure of my brush. All right. Then I'm going to make this 36 because I want to be able to control the smoothness of the brush. Okay, good. So let's do this. So I'm going to, let's still make this a bit smaller. So yeah. So I'm going to draw my stroke there. All right. So I'm going to do this. I'll paste that here. But this time I'm going to do something. I'm going to use something more uh, handwriting like. So I'm going to use a character called Covered by Grace and take out the tracking. And I'm going to break the words or the sentence like that. So I'm going to position this here and activate the free transform and make this smaller. We can even rotate this a bit and position this here. All right, like that. And we can even make it a bit bigger. And I'm going to add shadow to this. So I'll right click and select blend options. Then I'll go under drop shadow here, change this to normal and change this to this color here. Or let's use something more red like. So I'm going to turn off the size All right, and adjust the distance. So we can hardly see our shadow. So I'm going to increase the opacity of this a bit. So I think we need to still adjust this a bit. All right, there. Select the OK button there. All right, select the OK button here. All right, so yeah, so I'm going to put everything here in a group, and I'll call this option 2. Good. So let's see the before and after. So this is the after, and this is the before. I'm sure you learned from this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. If there's anything you want to share with me, drop it in the comment section of this video. And if there's anything you learn from this tutorial, kindly drop it in the comment section of this video. Now guys, let's touch lives together. Share this video with other designers. Let them also learn from this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.